I just want to say that I support many of the statements that were made. Let me state, and I got to be careful here because I know a lot of good private school teachers, so let me say it this way. We have many of the best teachers and support staff in the state and need to have a contract. I don't want to lose our good teachers and support staff. I don't want to be penny wise and pound foolish. We need to have a strong school system with predictability and transparency. Values of properties are directly related to the quality of our schools. So this is kind of the good guy, bad guy, but please don't misunderstand my support of the school system and the contract. We need to be responsible to the teachers and our taxpayers and must negotiate in what's best for all parties. My focus is long-range savings, something that will not be addressed. But I want to just say that I do support the chairman on negotiations and have discussed my priorities with him. Hopefully, all of you here will be helpful to getting a contract. I do support public statements, public support. We need to know what's going on, what you think is going on, and I appreciate it. Thank you.
That concludes the public comment on agenda items only. The next section is community comments on any subject. One person signed up, that would be Claire O'Hara, to speak about retirement procedures.
Well, I think I did it when I was up here before.
Okay.
But now I want you people to do what you have to do and present something that we can set forth. The teachers that have worked that well.
Thank you.
I don't have anything prepared, so I don't have a nice eloquent speech like a number of you went up there and stated tonight. I believe it was Amy Wright that said, or asked any of us to stand up that support you. I would stand up and meet with any of you at any time. Again, like Mr. Lombardi said, doesn't mean I'm going to agree with everything that you come to the table with, but I do have 2 children in the system, and I can't speak highly enough. Wherever I go, I do speak very highly. My husband's here somewhere. The support, what I've seen that the teachers put in for their extra time, I do appreciate it. I can't come to all of your events. I work full-time myself. I do try to go to a lot of different things, and I'm not trying to pat myself on the back, but I don't want you to think that if we're not at any of the events or any of the things that you do, it doesn't mean that we don't support you. And I just want to put that out there publicly. I can't get to the things during the day. I hear it from my children all the time. Well, how come you can't come volunteer? I can't. And I think a number of us up here can't do that. But I just want you to hear from me personally that I do support you and I will work with you in the market.
I'm going back to agenda item 7, which we skipped, collective bargaining, NSTA, NSASSP, discussion, vote, or other action. Mr. Kerner?
I do think it's important that all information, as much information as possible, is made public. So I would like to make a motion to authorize the school department solicitor to make any public comments that he feels are appropriate in sharing with the community members where we are with negotiations at this time.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Is there any discussion?
Yeah, I have a question about that. So how is the solicitor going to know what to say?
Well, the solicitor has been advising us in negotiations, and I think there's factual information that would be nice to get out there, and I think he has the good judgment to determine what would be appropriate, what wouldn't be appropriate.
So we all going to vote on what he can say and not say?
No, we're just authorizing him to speak on our behalf and share with the public whatever information he deems would be appropriate to share. It might be nothing, it might be 5 things, I don't know. But I think we need to have a spokesperson. I'm not taking offense to anything that was said here tonight, but there are 2 sides to every story, and I would like some other information to get out.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
So moved. Mr. Scandia, you address that tonight?
Whenever you feel it's appropriate.
I'd like to know my neighborhood, there's no reflection on this study.
Next item, item number 8, potential litigation, DATTCO, discussion, vote, or other action. Mr. Clifford?
I would like to make a motion to involve Mr. Scanzio in discussions with DATTCO in the very near future. I don't know if I should address where we are with the numbers at this point, or discuss it later on down in the Ben, what would you suggest, on the agenda item later or now?
You should bring it up.
Okay.
The next item on the agenda is the consent agenda. Would someone like to make a motion for items 1 through 8?
I'll make the motion to get that to accept item 1 consent agenda.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion?
Yeah, I'm just not going to vote on, I came late to 9 and I met this 2:13, so I won't vote on the minutes of those. I do one more, I'm just going to say I'm not more than those 2 minutes.
So what were the numbers?
The ones for 2:13 and 2:09. I wasn't part of 2:09, but I missed the executive session.
Okay.
You don't need to break the vote on the last, break the vote.
Leah?
I was here on the 29th, so I will recuse myself from that vote. And I asked if we could pull number 8 off momentarily.
Okay.
You know, now?
No, I just mean off of the consent
Oh.
agenda, if we could. That's about the school calendar.
Would you like to make a motion, though, for items 1 through 7?
Okay, I'll make it that we accept the consent agenda items 1 through 7.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. Leanne, please.
I just wanted to, I don't know if you vote to approve that now, because we're still in negotiations and there are a few things that might relate to the calendar. I'm concerned if we vote that in at this time and then it changes, how will that affect? If we can make changes later, then I'm
Yes.
fine, if we can't.
Yes.
Would you like to make a motion to approve?
I make a motion to approve the 2016-17 school calendar with the understanding that it might.
Is there any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. Next up is Mr. Lindberg, Superintendent's report.
Thank you. Mrs. Arnold and I were going to update you on Park, but if that's okay, could we do it after Mr. McGee's update to me, please?
Sure. Mrs. Dacko is up for the administrator's report.
Okay, that's right, yeah, let me move forward. Jen, you want to go next? Thank you.
Would you like the microphone?
So after last meeting, usually I just use my great big loud voice. So after the last meeting, when Mrs. Murphy's retirement was announced, many of the students in her class were deeply moved by her leaving. And part of the school newsletter, one of the biggest things that I've tried to do is really integrate our students into it. So I did approach 2 of her students to write a sentiment about how they felt about her as a teacher and her as a professional and her as a person. So 2 very special children, Laura Maniac and William Sullivan, without Mrs. Murphy knowing, kind of did a covert operation, and they asked her questions, and they came up with these 2 writing pieces, which they shared with me on Google Docs, which was very for them too. So I'm just going to read them. I think it's important that Mrs. Murphy's legacy is recognized. So the first one is by Lauren Mania, and it's an absolutely amazing teacher. Mrs. Murphy is an absolutely amazing teacher. She has taught for a long time and has decided that this year will be her last year teaching. Over the years, Mrs. Murphy has taught and touched many students' hearts, including mine. As she says, she loves teaching because she gets to see that light go on when a student gets something that they did not previously understand. Also, she enjoys listening to her students' thoughts and opinions. It is not uncommon to see Mrs. Murphy enthusiastic about her students' accomplishments. When I learned in August that I was going to have Mrs. Murphy, everyone said how lucky I was because she was an amazing teacher. During this year, our class has had a lot of fun and learned so much from her. She greets us every morning in a happy and joyful way, always excited about another day of learning and teaching. So much that every morning we can't help feeling ready and excited too. She is always making our days fun and full of learning new things, and every day when I come home, I can always say that I had fun and that I learned more than I even thought possible. She is always open to our questions and comments and is easy to talk to and learn from. Mrs. Murphy is a really great person and teacher, and most importantly, a role model. Out of all the people I see almost every day, I'm so glad that she is one of them. I hope she greatly enjoys her retirement. The second piece was written by William Sullivan, another one of her 5th grade students, and it's entitled, One of the All-Time Greats. This year, I've had a teacher that has been touching kids' lives for over 35 years, and her name is Mrs. Murphy. Honestly, I feel like I got lucky teacher-wise this year. So far, it's been an amazing year, and there's still more to come. With teaching so many years, she has made many great memories with her students. One of her favorites was when she went down to the coastline with her students when she taught with Mrs. Swanson. I think I speak for my whole class when I say that Mrs. Murphy can go down as one of the all-time greats. This is her last year of teaching, so I just want to say that this is definitely one of her best school years I've ever experienced. So far, she plans to go on vacation to see her family more often and really do just a little bit of everything. Once again, this is her last year before she retires, so wish her luck. So that just goes to show how important they are. So thank you.
Thank you. Mr. McGee, did a presentation for us?
Thank you for having me back. We're kind of going over some of the issues that we had last meeting about the vision of the high school and then the shortage of electives that we have. So for tonight's objective, I'd like to vision proposal that we had. With that information explain how we arrived here and then address physical education requirements. Fortunately, we have Mr. Fitzgerald with us here. I'm the department chair for physical education. I'm fortunate enough that all my department heads think that each one of their disciplines is the most important discipline in this school. So you'll hear from Mr. Fitzgerald. Okay.
I didn't want to.
So to kind of recap who we are, we were talking about developing pathways within the high school. And the definition of a pathway up there, a rigorous educational opportunity for learners that integrates real-world learning experiences and supports learners reaching their academic, career, and life goals. Most pathways require a general education component, and that directly aligns with our required graduation course requirements. The general ed requirements directly align with what we say is our graduation requirements. State of Rhode Island actually requires a minimum of 20 courses. And I have them listed up here for you. They demonstrate proficiency in 6 core areas: English, language arts, math, science, social studies, and the arts and technology. Successful completion of 20 courses at a minimum. Completion of 2 performance assessments, exhibitions, portfolios, and/or comprehensive course exams, and at least 100 minutes per week of physical education. At North Smithfield High School, these are our graduation requirements. We can read them there for yourself. English, we have 4 credits, math 4, science 3, social studies 3, fine arts 1, PE and health 3.5, senior skills 1/2, and then 6 elective courses, giving us a grand total of 25. Recent years, several elective courses were eliminated in exchange for others in a needed program. We've actually had 21 elective courses eliminated, or we had to exchange them with other things to get what we needed at the school to make it work. So I'm going to try to explain that to you right now. We've lost or relocated 21 elective courses over the past several years. So the chart below just signifies each one of those cells in the table below is actually one of the elective courses that we lost over the past few years. It happened in 2009, a part-time science instructor was eliminated. When that happened, the result are 3 less science electives. Okay, so you can see what's happened here. 2009, 1 technology education teacher moves to administration, not replaced. That was me. 5 less credits though, you know? 5 less credits. 2011, family consumer science teacher is released in exchange for a math support instructor. So we needed support in math. We ended up actually trading off consumer science for support in math. So that was kind of a trade-off. I didn't put them in red, I put them in orange because we actually shifted one to the other. But we did lose 5 electives. 2011, a second technology education teacher is eliminated and not replaced. So there we go, 5 elective courses were eliminated there. In 2014, 1 social studies business teacher resigns, and he was a hybrid. So the results were 3 electives transferred to English department in the project. So as you can see, we had 21 of those credits 6-7 years ago, and that we've actually lost. Some of them we had to trade up for different things that we needed. A motion was passed last meeting, or maybe it was 2 meetings ago, allowing for several current instructors to teach an additional period. That was Mr. Clifford's proposal that if we could have some teachers that are actually teaching right now, teach an additional course, they could get paid an extra course in compensation for that. But what happens with that is we'd actually end up with about 4, you look at the bottom, if they turn to green there, you'll get probably 3 or 4 courses out of that proposal. But it doesn't still come close to the 21 that we had a few years ago. We do have some opportunities, okay, for pathways in the structure that we have right now. What I'm trying to do is just try to get a consensus of how many electives that I can incorporate into my school and then develop the pathways once I get those electives nailed down. I'm not asking to do that this year, that's why I'm saying I appreciate everybody's input. I know some of you did contact me since the last one, we went over some specifics. So right now, North Smithfield kids do have an opportunity to go to the Woonsocket Area Technical School, and there's 10 different pathways that they can take part in over there. Currently, we only have 8 students that take advantage of that this year, probably the lowest that I've ever seen since I've been. We also have students eligible to attend CCRI. As a junior or a senior, they can take 2 classes per semester. But again, those don't happen during our school day. Most of them will be after school, like in the afternoon or evening or something like that. But they are eligible to do that. If they prefer to do that, we do have to pick up the expenses of the books. Another pathway that we have is North Smithfield students are eligible to attend CCRI with their Running Start program. They can actually complete their senior year of high school at CCRI while concurrently earning credit at CCRI. So that is a different pathway that they could do there also. That they would be there full time. We are now a member of what's called the Advanced Course Network. That's something brand new that just came out. We just had a webinar about it today. And basically what they're doing is that they're having schools participate in two different ways. You can opt to participate or not participate. You can either be a provider and actually offer courses within your school, or you can be a participant. That's what we are at North Smithfield High School. And you can have kids actually take courses from providing schools. Now, the providing schools are, some of them are like New England Tech is a providing school. CCRI is, Johnson & Wales, different. I think Burrville High School actually offers some. We had a webinar today. We had 120 courses that are available to our kids. The problem there is also that it doesn't meet during the school day. Unless it's an online course, I should qualify that. They do have some online courses that they could take during the school day. Those are some elective courses that we could have in our school. I'll give you more information as that comes out, okay? But we have 120 courses as of today that I am aware of, and it's just a matter of getting the kids there. The problem that I see right now is that they do not provide transportation. So if a kid could take, for example, digital photography at New England Tech, it meets twice a week, so they'd have to get down to New England Tech on Tuesday and Thursday night. They'll get college credit for it, they can get high school credit for it, but they need to provide their own transportation to and from. That's the issue there. They will pay for the books, they will pay for the tuition. So that's a big plus. A suggestion was made the last time to exchange some physical education minutes for additional electives. Again, you've seen that I had to trade off electives for courses. I don't want to do that. We have a program that I believe in right now. I prefer not to mess around with it if I didn't have to. Research does support more physical education, increases cognitive functions. Our current physical education program is a model within the state, as you've heard. From here, I'm going to let Mr. Fitzgerald take it. As I said, all my department heads are responsible for the most important course in my school.
I'd like to start off by thanking Mr. McGee, Mr. Lindberg, and the school committee for giving me the opportunity to speak to you this evening. I really don't have the words to truly express how important I feel this subject is to me and my department. Health and physical education has been my lifelong goal. When I was 8 years old and my grandfather, who was a teacher, asked me what I wanted to do when I grow up, I told him I wanted to be a teacher. This job is the only thing that will take me away from my family and friends. The one request that I do have is that if you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer. Please hold your questions till the end. And we'll, where Dr. T, I'm happy to say, stole my thunder a little bit. 225 minutes per week for high school students is recommended, not by me, not by my department, but by the Center for Disease Control and Prevention, Institute of Medicine, Shape America, Rhode Island Kids Count. Here are some of the reasons why. The CDC introduced this report that says there's substantial evidence that physical activity can help improve academic achievement, including grades and standardized test scores. Physical activity can have an impact on cognitive skills, attitudes, and academic behavior, including enhanced concentration, attention, and improved classroom behavior, which all the teachers here, I'm sure, would appreciate. This statement dispels a common misconception. Increasing or maintaining time dedicated to physical education may help and does not appear to adversely impact academic performance. Health and physical education has the unique opportunity to teach both the mind and the body, so all students know how important health and wellness are. The Washington Post introduced this article and research that was found that students that attended schools in Washington with more physical activity did significantly better on math standardized test scores. What does this mean for North Smithfield? If you take a look here at the results from our NECAP, reading, math, writing, and science scores, you'll see that there's been an increase from 08-09 to 2012-2013, with the exception of science, which is still continuing. The reason that I chose 08-09 was that was the last time that we had part-time physical education. Kathy LeClaire Jeff, Matt, and myself worked with administration in 2009, guidance, and the school committee in 2009 to increase graduation requirements and the amount of time North Smithfield High School students would be required to take health and physical education. 2012, 2013, that was the last year that we did science kneecap result tests, so that's the last year that I have results. I recognize that there are many different factors that contribute to these scores being increased. As you can see from the students that are here tonight, they are the best students in the state. They work hard at everything that we present to them. I'm proud of the students in North Smithfield. I was proud of them tonight with the presentations that they gave, and we continue to be proud of the students at North Smithfield. I put that first in terms of one of the biggest reasons that, or factors that contribute to these results going up. Curriculum development. Claire Arnold gave us the opportunity to improve our math, English, science curriculums, as well as the support to improve all of the health and physical education curriculums. We now have a K-12 comprehensive objectives and standards-based health and physical education curriculum, which we are very proud of. This document is on the website. I encourage everybody to see what we are teaching on a daily basis. Health and physical education has also been part of the school-wide writing initiative since the inception of the school-wide writing initiative. Yes, students in physical education write. They have every single year, grades 9 through 12, they write. And also, studies will show that an increase in physical activity can improve test scores. We have full-time physical education at this time for grades 9 through 11, and that proves, again, that test scores can be improved. If you take a look here, here's another example of how this works. How can this be explained? If you take a look at this brain on the left-hand side, the green brain has showed a student that has been sitting for an extended amount of time before taking a test. On the right-hand side, the brain that's lit up like a Christmas tree, that's the one that a student had the opportunity to walk on a treadmill for 20 minutes and get a little bit of cardio and a little bit of exercise. Neurons are firing, and the brain is able to allowing students to recall memory and answer questions more accurately. This carries over into all of the core subjects and all of the subjects that students have the opportunity to take, not just on standardized test scores. There are other health benefits to regular exercise, which I'm sure you're all aware of, but it can't hurt to see them again. Exercising is good for the mind and the body, which in turn will be good for all of our students at North Smithfield High School. Childhood obesity epidemic. If this slide doesn't make you nervous, I believe it should. For the first time in 200 years, the current generation of children in the United States is not expected to outlive their parents due to the childhood obesity epidemic. This was reported by the New England Journal of Medicine. So what can we do? If you look and see that 12% of Rhode Island high school students reported being obese, 15% reported being overweight, what is it that we can do? The American Heart Association, Place 60, the NFL and Place 60 are requesting and recommending that we continue to give our students at North Smithfield High School daily health and physical education. That is what is best for our students. This will hopefully be one factor that reverses the trend of childhood obesity. How does this affect North Smithfield High School students? If any health and physical education is removed, students that are not athletes will have less of an opportunity to perform. As you can see here, only 17% of our students played a winter sport. That number surprised me, it shocked me, and again, it says something to the fact that we have full-time phys ed and the students are working towards the standard. If, for example, we went to a semester course offering, which many schools do, students could potentially go for an entire year without having the opportunity or the chance in schools to move. Our students need a chance to get up and move. It is a long day. The school day creates a sedentary lifestyle. They're going home, they're working on their computers, they're on their phones, they're sitting, and we need to get them up and we need to get them to move. The neurons will be firing, they'll have the release of energy. This is what is best for our students. This is who we are and what we do. We're going to take a little bit of a look into our health and physical education program. We currently have 5 teachers who are not happy that I put their faces on the board. As you can see underneath their names, we have Mrs. Gravel was the 2009 Physical Education Elementary Teacher of the Year. Mr. Cringe was the 2014 High School Physical Education Teacher of the Year. How about a round of applause? This is what we're currently coaching. This is what we're currently doing. Alicia has also coached girls basketball in the past at our high school. Amy was instrumental in starting the track and field program this year. I had the opportunity to coach girls tennis and middle school baseball. Matt coached football and girls basketball. Jeff started the boys volleyball team, which were state champions last year, and helped support the unified sports program, which Jeff, Alicia, Amy, and I have all been a part of and all coached. The reason that I tell you all this is because every one of the teachers sitting over there right now would trade places with me to be able to express how proud we are of our department and how strongly we feel about maintaining the current health and physical education program. I agree with Mr. McGee, our subject is the most important. This is what we do. If you take a minute to read through the way that we deliver our program, I want you to realize that this is the schedule that allows us to deliver the highest quality health and physical education, standards-based curriculum on a daily basis. And it's not just me saying this. I've got a quote from Dr. Tunnicliffe, who already came up and spoke, but I think it's worthwhile to hear again. The Health and Physical Education Department at Rhode Island College has been sending practicum students and teachers to North Smithfield High School for more than 10 years. North Smithfield High School is the only high school in Rhode Island that Rhode Island College sends practicum students to. Because of the high quality health and physical education curriculum and assessments developed that are used to develop the whole student. We're obviously very proud to hear these comments coming from a professor at Rhode Island College, who we all respect very much. You might not recognize, this is an overview of some of the things that we do in physical education. You might not recognize some of the things that we do in physical education. And I show you that. You might not know what Omnikin ball is, but any of the students here can tell you how much fun Omnikin and Nitro ball are. It's not just gym class. That is not what we do. We joke around with the students all the time. They'll come up with a field trip form and they'll give it to us and it will say gym, where we have to sign it. We'll all hand it back and say, we don't see our class on here. You have to bring it back. We joke around, but it's the truth. It's not just gym class. Our goal is to educate students on a wide variety of activities so they can become lifelong movers. We've adapted the core values and beliefs about learning that talks about students becoming lifelong learners. Our goal is to give students the opportunity to find something that they love to do and they continue to do outside of after they graduate. This is just an example of some of the activities that would be reduced if we went to part-time physical education. These are the health education topics that we teach from grades 9 through 12. We're lucky to have all the health education teachers are also physical education teachers. This allows us to collaborate and work together. Every student, as I mentioned earlier, grades 9 through 12, complete a written common task each year regarding fitness testing and the importance of physical fitness. All 10th and 11th grade students complete a presentation that is aligned with the current senior project presentation, including a research paper and an oral presentation. This is what it would look like if we had half of the time. We would be put in the situation to remove half of the content. And I ask you, what topics would you eliminate? Disease prevention? Is disease prevention more important than mental and emotional health? Is personal health more important than internet safety? Is nutrition more important than the signs of suicide? I'm asking this hypothetically, and I want you to realize that if we were faced with a reduction in our schedule, our students at North Smithfield High School would miss a lot of these subjects, and it would not be a hypothetical situation for us. Right now, ride requirements, as has been stated, at least an average of 100 minutes per week. This is the minimum requirement. The state does not mandate the number of high school health and physical education credits that are required for a student to graduate. I show this slide again because it is of the utmost importance. 225 minutes per week is what a high school student should receive. This is what is best for our students. As all of you, I'm sure, are very well aware of graduation requirements, I feel that it's important to point out that districts may include additional expectations or requirements. And that's what we are currently doing in health and physical education and in math. We have the opportunity to set the standard and continue to challenge the students at North Smithfield High School. The information here, it just points out that right now we do have the most credits in order for the students to graduate. Let us continue to be the leader in these requirements. North Smithfield is also the leader in the amount of time that we have with our students. Grades 9 through 11 have approximately 236 minutes per week of health and physical education. And seniors have, after their 4 years of being part of our program, will receive on average 206 minutes per week. I state again that we have the highest standards set in the state, and it's reflected in our program. Finally, these are the recommendations of myself, of my department, of professors from Rhode Island College, of administration, of guidance, Mr. Lindbergh. Our recommendations are to maintain the current health and physical education programs at North Smithfield High School. Kathy LeClaire worked really hard in 2008, 2009, and she's here tonight to show her support as well about how important full-time physical education is. We want to continue to teach to the standards in all areas of health and physical education. We want to maintain high levels of academic achievement. We want to fight against the childhood obesity epidemic, and we want to exceed the minimum requirements set by RIDE. Our students at North Smithfield High School deserve health and our students at North Smithfield High School, health and wellness is what is the most important thing to all of them. That's the reason that we're here tonight. Let us continue to improve the students of North Smithfield High School by maintaining the current health and physical education program. Let us continue to be the example to the other districts in the state of what a quality health and physical education program is. And finally, let us be the best that we can be for our students at North Smithfield High School. Thank you very much. Yeah, I would say this, that any student that is medically excused from physical education, there's no repercussions to their grade, there is no repercussions to any student that is medically excused from physical education. Our students that are medically excused from participating in physical education do receive health. If they're medically excused from physical education, when the group goes into the health room, then they also receive health, so they don't miss out on the health portion of the curriculum.
And I mean, in a typical gym class, how much time do you lose? We're talking about a 45-minute period?
So basically right now we're on a 7-day rotating schedule. 50-minute classes is 5 out of the 7 days. We have 1 day with 81 minutes, and 1 day drops. So on a 7-day rotation, that's where the 236 minutes comes from. It's 50 minutes, it's, 236. 45 minutes is the recommended by the CDC, and we're slightly above that.
And even on that, about how much time would you stand and giving class, you lose some minutes, right, to get the kids ready and.
Yeah, at the high school, hygiene is really important to us in terms of requiring the students to change, and we do lose time when we're talking about changing. As I mentioned earlier, in a quality health and physical education program, specifically physical education program, if a physical education class is 45 minutes, if 50% of that time is dedicated towards moderate to vigorous physical activity, then that's what we're aiming for. We definitely exceed 50% of the time.
Thank you.
I just want to, I look at the offering and I see technology is a little lacking. And I look at technology and I try to figure out a way how to get that into the school system a little more to these kids because they're lacking that skill in the college and the workplace. So how do we fit that in? I don't need Romano wants to do that. She's, pro technology. I'm trying to get these kids skills so they can stay within the state and compete in the rest of the country. How can we fit that in? How can we fit in something like technology?
So we have one technology education teacher right now in the high school. We need another one.
We do.
All right.
I agree.
Fortunately, we were able to find one that's an engineer. We're fortunate to find a first-year teacher that's an engineer. That was like a sign from God. He's awesome. I'd love you to come down and see the program. As I explained to you the other day, I'm trying to find a way to fit it myself. One of my proposals was the 8-period day. I'm just doing anything I can to try to infuse our needs.
I'm with you.
And as I said, I'm asking for input. If you come up with something, I'm listening.
No, I know.
You know what I mean?
I'll go fight with Providence and get you some funding for technology. I don't know how to fit it in.
Right. We do have a computer class right now that Raimondo was talking about, computer science and all that. We do have that already in place, okay? But we only have one teacher in the business that's doing that right now. So if you give me another business teacher, I think that too.
Can I ask you just, are you talking about technology education or technology, integrating technology like? as we do? I'm sorry,
We're
Chris?
talking education, taking class of technology, programming, calling
Got
data.
it.
You know what I mean? It's kind of good skill program and stuff. Today, you need that skill no matter what your job is in business.
Nice if we could introduce coding even.
I know. I took coding when I was in high school. I thought it was
Yeah.
And I will encourage further discussion on the whole topic of the graduation requirement and PE. I had it on the agenda later, it's obvious we're going to table it, so we'll put it on again next month. And I did have a slew of questions, so we've got 30 minutes to get through the rest of this agenda, and we're never going to do it, so we're going to have to take some things in priority order. But I definitely want to engage with me.
I'm not going to fix this in one night.
No.
I think the more people are informed, the more we can have our heads together and wrap around it. What I don't want to do is lose quality programs that we have now in exchange for things that we need. That's the point.
Any other questions? Thank you.
Isn't that why we came here? Megan?
The next item on the agenda is Mrs. Marquez.
Yeah, the third bullet talks about graduation requirements back up attached.
Okay, so this is just part of the graduation requirement?
Yeah, I didn't know where the committee was going tonight, so I didn't know if you wanted me to proceed here or wait, but I was going to ask the committee, because we all need to know, especially for this next year, because actually courses have already been signed up, whether the school committee is going to change the graduation requirements for next year. So I was going to ask you to make a decision tonight.
I don't think it was my intent to suggest that we change graduation requirements for next year. I thought we do it in some type of sequential way where the incoming freshman class would be subjected to a new set of criteria. Because if you change it midstream, it can mess up your class ranks and your GPA averages. Because some kids may have taken, 3 years
100% was not clear, so I'm glad that I put it on the agenda so the committee could weigh in. Do the rest of the committee members feel the same way? Curious, just, are we gonna stick with the current graduation requirements?
It was my understanding that this entire proposal was
2 years.
2 years out.
Yeah.
So Mr. McGee, what's the timeline that you need some kind of
Just
action?
before budgeting season, because if it required more staff and so forth, I'd have to budget.
So, I mean, basically, we're talking about the end of this school year, we need to make some kind of decision.
Actually, in the fall.
Yeah.
In the fall, Mr.
And
President.
as I said, I'm looking for input.
No, absolutely, I
I'm putting
understand
stuff
that.
out there to chew on, and the more information I get, the better off we'll be.
Okay.
Can I ask a question? Is it okay for me to ask a question? I'm not familiar with how this works. My question would be, does the proposal that you have to reduce the graduation requirements include reducing health and physical education minutes per?
We don't have, well, right now. This came about, Mr. McGee was talking about the restrictions of kids to be able to choose electives, especially the music studies and debate areas, and also going through an 8-period schedule. So that's what he was proposing for 2008.
Maybe I'm just understanding, are there members, you might be members of the physical department want to speak to this, is that what you want to do?
I think, Madam Chair, if I may, I appreciate the fact that it probably took some time to hear the presentation, but I have to tell you, it was high quality, and if anything, it accomplished educating people tonight. And tonight, while we have pretty much a almost new school committee, I hopefully found it really refreshing to hear about educational things tonight, and this is a major component and an underpinning of the high school. So hopefully you appreciated that and got a lot out of it. And so if anything, it provided education for your future decision about well, okay for next year. It was excellent, Jim. Sorry.
Is there anybody else who wants to speak to this physical education requirement?
And Tim, do you want to just close, so the proposal to, how much money was that? 48,000 roughly for 3 elective courses, is that it? I forgot.
It was about $49,000.
49,000, and so although it's in the budget, do you want to just summarize that again?
Yeah, so I had a slide up there. That would account for possibly three electives. We did that, which, I'll take anything I can get, believe me. But it doesn't compare to the 21 electives that I looked.
I understood that when I made the offer of the 49, and I think I even said we can try this out on a small scale, see how it works. I'd even like to incorporate that at the elementary level. If kids need remediation in math, maybe a teacher at the elementary level who teaches math will be interested in teaching the extra, the math course in lieu of an assigned period for the $13,000 stipend goes with it. So it was just, I see it used in other districts.
I actually did that, Mr. Clifford, 10 years ago maybe, in the technology area. And I will say, giving up your preparation period every day, it's a very long day. It's taxing. But I'm just saying, if we do that for 3 different teachers, I'm just concerned about the quality of our program as well.
We'll give it a shot.
Bill, did you have any other questions?
No problem. Madam Chair, I don't want to order, I'm not sure what I don't want, I believe I want to ask Mr. Tackett to come up to speak on the physical education, but we are still on that, we're doing both physical education and, we're doing both, item 3,
Yes.
2, 3, right? Okay, I'd ask Mr. Tackett to come up to comment.
So the thing I was trying to bring up, I know a lot of the reflections upon electives and like that, I think one of the things that wasn't brought up and shown that even physical education department previously used to offer electives within that department as well too, and to kind of go with the pathways that you guys are discussing, bring it up there. At one time, we did offer a full certification course for first aid and CPR from the Red Cross. We did do sports medicine and athletic training. We did do high performance phys ed. So there were 3 to 4 electives at one time that we did offer, even within our department, that were taken away in addition to the 21 other electives that were mentioned here today. So that total we brought up to 24 electives that were taken away that we did at one time currently offer. I think that needs to make sure the committee hears and understands that even with phys ed, we have reduced our elective course offerings to what we're currently showing you right now.
Thank you. The next item on the agenda, Mrs. Markov, financial report.
Actually, Mrs. Mayo, Claire, and I have a very brief update update to you. It's kind of important, and again, I apologize, but it has to do with that time of season again, and it's park testing. We think it's timely before your April meeting that we share with you some information from the Department of Ed, simply because we know that in the state of Rhode Island, park assessment can be, well, it can be talked about. Let's say that. So,
Is it possible to table that for the April meeting
we start
or a special meeting?
pretty soon, don't we?
End of April.
Start at the end of
And we
April.
need April money.
Sure, it's your meeting, so.
Mrs. Martin, financial report?
You have a monthly report in your packet. At the end of February, we had $1,189,159 left in the budget, unencumbered at that time. Also in your packets, I have included 2 new reports, different format, same information, expands upon the line items to give you a little more data and to give you some historical data. I worked with the budget subcommittee to create this format. The main difference between the 2 reports, the original report that you're accustomed to getting is date driven. So date driven means I can select the exact dates that I want to run the report to encompass the activity within the report. The new report will run in real time. So that means it's run, the date that I run it, the activity on the report is reflected on that date. They're run from So one important thing to bring to your attention is that both reports won't always be able to be timed at the same time. Because when we close our month end, it's after the month end is complete, and it sometimes takes up to like 2 weeks to complete the month end before I can run the reports. So the date-driven report I can bring back to month end, but the real-time